you guys, welcome to a new episode here from Jordan. Today we are doing a road trip to the desert of Wadi Rum. I am going to show you around the desert. I'm going to give you some tips that will definitely be useful for you guys if you're planning a trip to the desert. I will explain you a few things about the area and show you around the desert. I'm going to stay there for one night and I will explain you everything about the whole experience during this video. Okay, you guys, this is what a road trip here in Jordan looks like. You always have to watch out a little bit and take care what may be on the road. There will be a few camels or donkeys on the road sometimes, so always watch out and drive carefully. And if you decide to get out of the car, watch your step because you might want to avoid that. The closest city to Wadi Rum is Aqaba. We came from the Dead Sea and it was a more or less 3.5 hours drive to reach Wadi Rum. We just arrived at the Wadi Rum information center and this is where we need to do the check-in basically to enter the desert. And I think this is where we also will have to show our Jordan pass and the passport. If you own the Jordan pass, it will be pretty straightforward. You enter, they check your passport, stamp the Jordan pass, or scan it if you have it electronically and ask you for your guide, and then you are already free to go. Just a few more minutes and we arrived at the small village of Wadi Rum, where we were about to meet our guide that was already waiting for us at the parking area near the entrance. Alright you guys, this is where the tour is going to start. We just took this truck here behind me to the restaurant and we will now have a lunch here. Currently we are in the village of Wadi Rum. It's a village where the people live that work here with tourism. There are around 2,500 people who live here. They have a school here and everything. So that's why most people live here in this village and they mostly live from tourism here. We are now going to start the tour. We are leaving the village of Wadi Rum and are going into the desert with the jeep. The desert is huge. Do not believe you will be able to walk from one place to another. You will enter it with a jeep and you will have to book a guided jeep tour to explore as many places of the desert as possible. Our guides were locals. They grew up in the area and can tell you everything about it and their culture. Alright, we are at the first stop here in the desert. It looks super impressive and it is super quiet here. You don't hear anything. One thing you need to know if you want to go to the desert of Wadi Rum, you cannot just go here, enter the desert by yourself. You need a guide. You will always need a guide. You will have to get here in a jeep. And that is only possible with a guide. I'm going to leave you the information of my guide, whose name is Haitam, in the description section here below. If you are interested in a tour, make sure to contact him. I'm pretty sure he will give you the best tour. Be prepared to drink a lot of tea during the tour.
You know, from our tradition, if you want to give like for someone tea or coffee, you give it with right hand, not with left hand.
Why? Is there a reason?
Yes, meaning because if you give it with the right, with the left hand, is meaning you don't like him stay a long time or you don't want him. Yeah, something like that.
So guys, now you know. Always pay attention to the way they hand over the tea. Alright, time to continue. After getting the first impressive view and drinking some tea, it was soon time to continue the tour of the first day in the desert. After a short ride, we reached a sand dune where some people were doing sandboarding. We were going to do that later and get up the hill to get an impressive overview of the area. From up here you can definitely see the huge dimensions of this desert. The desert from up here seems to be endless. You can see a few little camps here in this area. You can see some jeeps coming in, but it does feel super private. There are a few people here with us, but you don't hear them, you don't hear the jeeps, and it seems like you are having this desert for yourself, which is pretty amazing. You can actually fully enjoy the beautiful and super impressive nature from different viewpoints of this desert. Our next stop was the Kasali Canyon. This is one of the most famous places inside of the protected area of Wadi Rum. This canyon used to be a place to rest for Nabatean and Arabian traders, as its high walls offer shadow and protection from the intense heat of the desert. In its walls you will see some drawings and inscriptions.
And here you can see description for animals. You can see the lion, horse and camel, and you can see the language of Tamudi people. And if we can see in this side, you can see the elephant there and there also. And up there we can see description, if you can see description for Nibatin.
I definitely understand why this canyon used to be a place to rest, because it really is a nice shady place where the air is clearly cooler than outside. This desert is divided into two parts, the red desert and the white desert, and you can see here on the rock formations that we are currently in the red zone of the desert, and you can also see it in the sand that is rather reddish. And the white desert, you will notice that the mountains that you can also see here in the backgrounds, they are white, and also the sand is white when we are in the white part. And this is because before, a long time ago, this whole area here was underwater. And the tops of the mountains, for example, they were above the water, which is why the sand is also white. And then I had the honor of driving our guide's Jeep. That was a lot of fun. And I think I did pretty good for the first time, didn't I? The first day in the desert was a lot about going up to different viewpoints. You will, for example, be able to see the arches that are quite famous, as you will always see photos of these places when searching for photos of Wadi Rum. For me, the views from up there were absolutely insane. We visited Wadi Rum at the end of July, and that was probably the hottest time we could have visited. It was around 40 degrees and we were walking a lot up to viewpoints and through canyons. I enjoyed this a lot though, as the desert is breathtaking. Although I have to admit that at some point I also just needed some rest. What a spectacular place to rest though, isn't it? Alright you guys, there's another arch right here in the background. We could do another hike all the way up there, but that would take around 4 hours and going down another 2.5 hours. So that will be a super long hike, and we are not going to do that right now because it's actually super hot here. For today this would definitely be too much and also a way too long hike because it's already in the afternoon. We don't have that much time anymore. But it is an option to go there. For those of you who are super interested in hiking, this one would be a great option for you. So you would have to go all the way up here, and then you can see the arch over here. We are now going to take a little walk through a canyon, and on the other side we can try the sandboarding. I'm very excited how this is going to work out. I've never tried it before. Let's see if I can manage to do it. This canyon was imposing, but I'm not going to lie. All this walking in the heat did something with me. I felt super exhausted, and yet I was keen to continue this tour. Alright, we now arrived at the place where we will try some sandboarding. Our guide is already going up to show us how to do it, and afterwards I'm going to give it a try. I have already been tired, but walking up the dune with this board in my hands, wow, that was tough. The more fun it was though to slide down. Alright, I didn't dare to stand up, but it was so much fun to do the sandboarding, but also at the same time super exhausting, because going up there really isn't easy, because you walk one step up and then due to the sand you already sink down a little bit. It is super exhausting, but it's definitely worth it. It was so much fun and I did it 3 times and loved it. We now arrived at another viewpoint. This is the big arch, and this one is another great photo spot. We are going to take our photos here now and then later have some tea and then watch the sunset, and that will be the last stop for today. Alright, we just arrived at our sunset viewpoint. This is where we are going to enjoy a beautiful sunset in the desert. After that we will go to the camp and then have dinner there. And that's it basically for today, for the first day. And then also get some rest. I think I will sleep like a baby. It was a lot of walking and climbing today. So yeah, I'm also looking forward to the night to get some rest and some sleep tomorrow. We will have another day here in the desert and explore further areas then. But for now we will enjoy the sunset and I will later on show you what our camp is like. Our guide made some fire with wood that he had found earlier in the desert and prepared some tea for us. Meanwhile, we were able to enjoy a spectacular sunset. We arrived at the camp when it was already dark. Dinner was waiting for us already. It was a traditional Bedouin food that is being cooked in a deep pit in the sand. They put hot rocks inside the pit and put the food in pots, which are then being buried in the pit. The heat from the rocks and the sand slowly cooks the food for several hours. We had delicious vegetables and chicken for dinner with some bread, rice and some other vegetables and dips. Alright, it's now around 10:30 and this was it for today. We are going to bed now and tomorrow will be the second day and we will start after breakfast. I will also give you a camp tour tomorrow in the morning because right now, well, we arrived after sunset. It was all dark so you cannot see that much, but tomorrow in the morning I will give you the full camp tour. Good morning guys, let's start day 2 here in the Wadi Rum Desert Hut Camp. I am going to show you the camp tour right now as promised yesterday. And we will start with our little tent. Everybody here has a tent. It is made for 2 people. Let's go inside. This is what it looks like. It is a very traditional camp. So here you will live the traditional Bedouin lifestyle. And this is what it looks like. It is a small room with just a bed. And then here we can also charge our batteries and we do have some light here and a very beautiful view to the mountains from the window. It was quite a hot night. We do have some blankets here that are actually very thick, which is a sign that it does get cold here at night in the desert. This night was quite hot. We didn't need the blankets at the beginning, but in the early morning hours you definitely felt a huge drop on temperature. Anyway, this is it from the room. Let's continue with the camp tour. This here is the living room area. This is where we had dinner yesterday and where we will also have breakfast right now. So we have some tea and coffee here. And also some bread, hummus, some cheese, sausages. There are 9 tents in total here in this camp. It is a very traditional Bedouin camp here in the protected area of Wadi Rum. This is a very important thing. If you are looking for a camp, make sure that it says that they are located in the protected area of Wadi Rum, because there are some camps that are outside of this area and they basically offer the same services, but they will not offer you the traditional Bedouin experience. And for me, this is one of the reasons why I actually came here, to live that kind of lifestyle or to get to know it. You will have guides that are original from this area and they can tell you everything about it and about the life here. And it's actually super interesting. So I definitely recommend you to check that out. Make sure you are in the protected area, people that are from this area of the desert, and I definitely recommend you to experience this yourself. For me, this was a very unique stay and a very fun thing to do as well. I really enjoyed the tour yesterday and I am very excited about what is yet to come, because it is not over yet. We will go back to the village in the afternoon, but before that we will still explore a little bit more the village and we will start our tour in a little bit and continue the tour to different points here of the Wadi Rum desert. We then got picked up again and started a very exciting second day in Wadi Rum. We just arrived at our first stop for today. We are now going to explore a little bit this area and hopefully get super nice view over the desert. I am already surprised because we are again in the White Desert, but this area looks completely different from what we've seen yesterday. It is way greener, or at least as green as a desert can get. There are more plants here and it looks super beautiful. Let's see the view from above there. So we climbed up another viewpoint. By the way, a skirt may not be the most appropriate outfit for the desert. I know. Elegant as always, aren't I? Alright, the climb wasn't that easy as always because the dunes are super steep and the heat is not making things easier, but it was definitely worth it. Look at these super impressive views. They say the landscape of Wadi Rum is similar to planet Mars. At this viewpoint, I definitely understood why. Because of its unique nature, Wadi Rum has also been the film spot for many famous movies such as Star Wars. We were so deep in the desert on that second day, there was absolutely nobody and we had all this magnificent nature for ourselves. We kept walking and found a shady place where our guide was already waiting for us with some tea. The shadow and something to drink was very welcome as the heat was quite intense again on that second day. And then our guide took us to another viewpoint close to the city Aqaba and also very close to the Saudi Arabian border.
You can see in this area is volcanic rock. You can see is change the color from the middle there, and also this is what I explained for you because before 2 million years ago the higher mountain the white is outside of the water because the sea, and the red is down of the sea. For that you can see this, the mountain is red, you can see the red sand because the sand they come from the mountain. And also, if you can see this, the last mountain in the border of Jordan, because from this area, from the back of the Red Mountain, they start the border of Saudi Arabia on the side.
While yesterday we were getting to know the desert little by little and saw a lot of beautiful photo spots, today is more about the viewpoints. We are at another amazing viewpoint here where we have a great view over big parts of the desert. We see the highest mountain of Jordan here behind me, and we are also very close to the border of Saudi Arabia and also to Aqaba, which is one of the biggest cities of Jordan. And the views are super impressive again. The second day was clearly my highlight. On the first day, I already said that you feel like you are alone in the desert because even though there were some people, the desert is so huge that you don't really notice them and it is super quiet and peaceful in Wadi Rum. But the second day, we were literally alone in the desert. That is because we drove further into it and most people only do a one-day tour. So most people never get to see the most impressive places of Wadi Rum. This is the last viewpoint of today and therefore also of this trip here in the Wadi Rum desert. I personally think that this was an amazing experience. I really enjoyed this trip. Haitam organized this whole trip for us and his brother showed us around here in the desert and he did an amazing job. He knows every single area of this desert. He can tell you a lot of things about the history, about the life of the people here. They showed us a lot about the Bedouin culture, which was super interesting. And yeah, it was definitely an amazing experience to sleep in the desert. You can do various types of tours. They offer a day tour. So for those of you who do not have a lot of time, you can just come here for one day. But I definitely recommend you, if you have the time, spend the night here in the camp to learn more about the culture and to explore more areas of the desert. It's time to say goodbye to the Wadi Rum desert. We will now go back to the village and continue our adventure here in Jordan. I just want to say thank you, Wadi Rum Desert Heart Camp, for this amazing adventure here in the desert. And for you guys, if you are interested in something similar, make sure to check out the link in the description below. I will put you all the information there. In case you have any open questions left, make sure to drop them below in the comment section and I will answer all of your questions as soon as possible. And now we are going to continue our adventure here in Jordan. So make sure to subscribe to this channel to not miss out on the next video because we are going to Petra now. If you like this video, I would highly appreciate your support. Drop me a like and I hope to see you in the next video.